Hey guys, it's Marisa at KitchenTablesStamper.com, and we are on video number 3 of 3 in the Gnome for the Holidays Stamp-A-Stack series. So, if you're familiar with our Stamp-A-Stacks, you know that we have a free online video series for the class. We're going to make 9 cards in this Stamp-A-Stack, and we are on this Pear Pizzazz design, so we'll make 3 of this Pear Pizzazz design. In video number 2, we made 3 of this Real Red design. And in video number 1, we cut our paper for all 9 cards and made 3 of this Mossy Meadow design. So if you're joining us here in video number 3, check below the video for the links to the other 2 videos in the series. So this is our card. Like I said, in video number 1, we cut our designer series paper. So here's our designer series paper pieces that are left over. We cut our paper according to Wonder Recipe number 1. We've got 3 pieces of designer series paper that are 4 by 3 inches left from our one sheet wonder. Now, here's the fun part about this particular design. This was our 3 by 3 piece for the red version of the card where we kept it whole. Now for this one, we're going to actually dig in and cut a little bit more. I've got my paper trimmer here. Now we're going to take these 3 by 4 inch pieces and we're going to cut them down to 2 by 3 inch pieces. Now look at this. We're going to reveal both sides of the awesome designer series paper. All right, so let me do that with the other designs here. And then our last one. Pretty cool, huh? All right, so here's all of our pieces. If you get the kit, you're gonna need your card bases, Pear Pizzazz. It's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. All right, you'll need 3 of those if you're preparing your own kits. You can take the class right along with me online, preparing your own kit as you go. Or you can order the Gnome for the Holidays Stamp-A-Stack kit while supplies last. Buzz over to KitchenTablesStamper.com/shop and you can pick up the Gnome for the Holidays Stamp-A-Stack kit while supplies last. Let's go ahead and work the score lines, fold our cards, and we're going to adhere our designer series paper to the card front with both patterns revealed. So much fun. I love it. The Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper, you get 1/4 of a package in the Stamp-A-Stack kit, so you'll have plenty to play with after you're done with these cards. And I love these because the color palette of Mossy Meadow, Pear Pizzazz, and Real Red is great for the holidays, and you can really take advantage of this paper for your bags, your boxes, or your card making, where both sides will be revealed, because like you see with these 3 patterns, both sides of the paper really coordinate well. And that's not always the case. If you know Stampin' Up, you know that. That's not always the case. Sometimes we get some pretty random A side, B side combinations. So we're gonna go ahead and just show A side, B side, higher than center, little tippy, kind of jaunty placement. All right, there are our card bases all dressed with the designer series paper. Let's grab a Mossy Meadow Stampin' Pad. And there's no place like Gnome for the Christmas season. Let's go ahead and stamp our greeting. We're going to do that in the bottom right-hand corner of the card. All right, we've got our greetings. Now, in the card kit, you'll have some half sheets of Whisper White cardstock, The cardstock is to both line the inside of your darker color cards, your Mossy Meadow card, your Real Red card, but it's also for stamping our gnomes. We're gonna stamp the gnome of your choice here, and we'll get her colored up. She's not real even. We got some extra space. Let's get a good image. That's a better image. All right. And I'm gonna go back to my card kits for a minute and grab from them. There's a Mossy Meadow scallop circle already cut for you. Die cut that if you're following along without the kit. You'll die cut that using the layering circles dies. And this is the largest, that 3 1/16 scallop. Then we've also got a little bit of holly cut from Mossy Meadow for you. You can use any little greenery you have here, a little pine bough, the sprig punch, little plantlers. It's already done. And then I've got also in the kits, we have the largest stitched circle cut from Whisper White using the Stitched Shapes dies. So we're gonna stamp our largest stitched circle shape with the little gnome home. Got Tuxedo Black ink. We're gonna color with Stampin' Blends. Tuxedo Black Memento ink pad is a great non-reactive ink. Awesome for stamping with and then coloring with our alcohol markers. We're gonna stamp our little gnome home to the right of our circle so we can pop our little gnome up in front of her home. Now let's set aside the ink pad. Don't want to set our project in it. We'll color. I've got some Old Olive here, light and dark. And we're going to start with her hat. But when I'm coloring, especially for a Stamp-A-Stack, what I'll do is I'll color everything that needs to be Old Olive all at once. So I'll start with our hat and I'll just keep moving along from Old Olive section to Old Olive section, laying down a layer of the lighter color. We're going to do some simple two-tone alcohol marker blending to color these in. And so we'll lay down the light and then draw in some little shadows with the dark down the left side and then underneath the previous row. Then right along the edge of the brim. And then we'll bring together the dark shade and the light shade. So just two-tone blending. And then I'll do all my little Old Olive things at one time. So I'm going to grab the little holly on her apron. And then I'll move over to my gnome home. And I'll do my little leaves and light bulbs. The grass, I like to go in and use the Old Olive to color in the blades of grass. And then underneath, I'll just do some little scribbles so that the grass can kind of come along the path here and spread out along under the tree. Then I'll shadow with the Old Olive along the blades of grass. I'll kind of dot along the little scribble. Now with the grass, the other thing I'm going to do is bring in my color lifter. And I'm going to use the color lifter to soften the edges of the Old Olive. And then I'm going to keep my light Old Olive and grab my smoky slate, light and dark. I'm going to move into the path here. I'm gonna color my smoky slate path, the light smoky slate first. I'm kind of avoiding the rocks, filling in the path. Right up to that old olive there. And I'll take my dark smoky slate and color in the rocks. And then add a little dots right along the threshold of the door. A little bit of dots where the artist drew in some kind of smaller pebbles for us along the path. Then I'll take my color lifter, give a little blend where the path meets the grass. And just blend all that ground together. I'm gonna color with soft suede next. I've got light and dark soft suede. So for my little gnome lady, she's gonna have some brown hair and some brown boots. Do a little shadow under her hat with the darker brown, then maybe a little bit along the lines that the artist drew in. Little shadow on the top of her boots. Then my tree, and this is a big area. We're gonna color in with the light smoky slate, and I'm gonna color in my entire tree trunk, little circles, and just fill in here. All right, so we've got our base coat. Let's bring in some shadow now along the edge of the door frame here. We're gonna follow all this little lines in the bark with the dark soft suede. Fill in that kind of wide area there, down to the bottom. A little knot. And along both extreme edges of the tree also. Then we'll go back in and with teeny little circles, we'll kind of bring together the dark and the light. Make our tree look a little barky. It'll take that striped look that you got when you just colored over those lines from the artist. Take that stripe look and soften it. It'll look kind of barky and chunky now as you do kind of some random squiggles to bring it all together. If you want to, you can go along the very edge of the door just to kind of define, and then little crossbars in the window. This is the most coloring you'll do in the Stampin' Stack, is this little gnome home. But boy, it's cute and it's so much fun. All right, so we're gonna color our door real red. I'm just gonna saturate the whole door with the dark real red, or with the light real red. And then I'll come in and follow the artist's lead with the dark real red, making some shadows. So I'll get this inner edge of the door, and then these little lines that the artist drew in, do a shadow right along the ground, little lines under the window, and then bring it all back together, the dark and the light. Light bulbs and our little gnome dress. Let's do those. For her dress, I'm gonna come in with the dark real red, and I'm gonna do the bottom edge, right side, left side, and then down the arms under the chin. So this one I'm doing kind of opposite. I did the dark, and then I'm just bringing in the littlest touch of the light real red. If you have anywhere like I do, where your red came into your apron, or it's a little dominant at the bottom of the door here. It seeped into the path a little bit. Let me show you what you can do. So you can take your color lifter, and it does not lift the color, but it'll push that red back. So you're gonna work on it as you go now. So I've got this little spot at the bottom of the apron. I'm gonna just keep bringing in my color lifter, and I'm gonna push back that red. Then I'm gonna take the dark. I'm gonna do her little ornaments. And I'll get the ivory and do her face and hands. And as I'm going, I'll keep running back to those little areas that I got red in her apron. I'll push back a little bit more. At the bottom of the door, I'll push back a little bit more. Now I'll grab some Daffodil Delight. A star, little light, little dab of dark. Same with these lights. Daffodil Delight, little shadow of the dark Daffodil Delight doorknob, little shadow of dark, and a dab of light. All right, now I'm gonna grab our color lifter again, and I'm just gonna patiently just keep working back this little spot on her apron. It happens sometimes, and the nice thing about the color lifter is you don't have to start over. You do have to be patient and keep touching the area, keep pushing that ink. You'll see it go from red to pink. It takes a little bit, but I'll be able to clear that out so it's almost unnoticeable. And that's the nice part because I've already put the effort in. All right, we're doing a little bit of smoky slate on the wire. And now we're going to start using the smoky slate here to push the red back. And then a little bit of dark smoky slate, because just like the color lifter, the smoky slate will push that red deeper into the cardstock, and it'll be less and less noticeable. All right. I am going to cut out all my little gnomes, and then I'll meet you back here to put them together. We're going to just fussy cut our gnomes. Got my paper snips. I'm going to fussy cut my gnomes. And then we'll assemble these cards. All right, I've got all my little gnomes colored, my gnome homes colored, everybody's cut out. Let's start assembling some of the layers here. Now, the other thing I did was I just kind of took all my little holly leaves and gave them a little fold. We're going to adhere the gnome home to the scallop. Then let's adhere the scallop to the card front. Now we need our little gnome in front of her home, so let's get some dimensionals on the back of her. Okay, dimensionals are all sticky. She's gonna stand kind of outside her home on the path. And let's embellish with some holly and some bows. Got my little greenery. You can use your spring punch here. You can use the little, we call that one the plantler punch around kitchen table stamper. You can use the little sprig from the mini curvy keepsake box That would be adorable for this greenery. We punched ours with the Holly Builder punch from the clearance rack. I don't even know if it's still on the clearance rack. I should look. But we did a little Holly Builder punch. If you're looking for a little holly, if you have the quilt bundle from a couple of years ago, there's a little holly in there. You can just take some Mossy Meadows scraps and do something pretty and green here. There's our hollies. Now let's get some red ribbon. This is that gorgeous braided linen trim. We need a little red bow for each of our green bouquets. So we're going to tie up 3 little bows and clean up the end, snip away from the card. And we'll adhere our bows with some glue dots, little mini glue dot, and that'll kind of secure the end of our bouquet. Can you believe we're almost done with 9 awesome Gnome for the Holidays cards? Last up, a little bling. Got the red rhinestones from the kit, and I'm going to add 3 little berries on each cluster of leaves. 1, 2, 3, just like that. And there they are. No place like Gnome for the holiday season. Aren't they great? There's our 3 cards. We've done 9 cards. 6 and 9. If you got any questions about the project, the Stampin' Stack, email Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. To shop Stampin' Up! Products 24/7, buzz over to MarisaAlvarez.stampinup.net. And if you'd like to get one of the Gnome for the Holidays class packets, buzz over to kitchentablestamper.com/shop while supplies last and pick up the kit so you can follow along with the video easy style. Thanks for watching.